Hello everybody, I am Sara Perry, Psychic Medium, and this is my channel for psychic astrology, general insight and predictions for the month in general, week in general for people, and also for all the sun signs. This is a audio vlog for the sun signs of 2018. Somebody asked me to do this. I was going to do it before this new year, but everything got a little bit out of hand. And so I'm going to give you this now. It's all in one video, but you can actually just go to your sign on the timestamps. This is a timestamps. This is a glimpse into what is coming in. If you really would love to have more in-depth insight, there is an offer on the website www.saraperrypsychic.co.uk of a 12-month forecast where you can get some highlights of what's coming during the year, month by month, and the general energies that are going on. This is a written reading, okay? So if you'd like that, that is still available throughout January. It will be finished at the end of January. And the price of that is £40. So go check that out. Use the links below. Also, if you would like a reading, there are various options on there, but if you would like to do a pay per minute reading, or just there's a very short quick question, you can use the app for iPhones and iPads, which is www.instantgo.com. Again, the link is below. Thank you to all of you in advance for sharing this vlog and subscribing. So let's start with Aries. This year I'm seeing a sense of needing to be fulfilled. It's like something has been lost. Something has needed something. It's like you're looking back and going, I've got my bag and it's full of all this stuff, but something is empty. Something is missing. Somewhere along the line, I missed something, and I feel like you want to go back and find it. You don't want to go back into the past necessarily. You don't want to go over old ground, but you want to understand what it is that's missing. You don't even know. It's like you've missed something along the way. Maybe you've been charging ahead and focusing in one direction when you should have been focusing on another. And it's like all of a sudden you've got to the point. It's like going to getting ready to go on a plane, and you hand your tickets over and you realise you haven't got your passport, or there was an important document that you should have had, or there was small print that needed to be read. And I sense that throughout this year, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for that missing piece, and it's really important because I feel you need to get this done in the next 12 months. This is going to be so important. I see a lot of Arians being highlighted in press reports this year for good and bad things. And I see a couple of quite angry energies there of sort of like, I'm going to achieve this now. I'm not going to let this get the better of me. And again, there's this sense of, I'm going to find the treasure. I've got the map and I'm fed up with going around in circles and taking the same route. I'm going to re-look at what I missed. I'm going to re-look, get a magnifying glass and go a bit closer. And I feel this is to do with quality in many ways, and that once you go into something with that sort of mind and thinking, I'm going to take everything, I'm going to pull everything apart, and I'm now going to look at everything in my life and reconnect with me and redo things with this sort of edge, of high quality. It's not about having the poshest hairdo or the nicest nails. This is about almost after you've taken up some trousers, you threw them together, you repaired something quickly because you had to go out. It's about going back and unpicking all those really tight little those tight stitches, and then taking a new thread that actually matches what you had, rather than just a thread because it was available, and getting on with it. Because I just feel like everything has been, it's always been like that sense of survival mode, which all of us have. Don't get me wrong. We all want to be in that survival mode. Well, no, we don't want to be in the survival mode. Sorry. When we are in that mode, we have to sort of just get on with it. We've got to, we've got to put food on the table. We've got to just get through the day. I've just got, and if you've been going through grieving, or you've had some sort of traumatic time over the last few years, all you probably wanted to do is take one step foot in the other, you know, in front of the other, and get up and just make sure that you can function. But this year it's like I'm past that now. I functioned, but as I was functioning, I maybe was slightly not aware of something that I needed. And it's, you know, this isn't you know, this is non-judgmental, because this is the way things happen. And if you've been through certain experiences, you know, this is the way we get on, and this is how we heal. And I just sense with you, this is it's been a lot about healing inside, healing your self-worth, healing who, you know, your what's been missing, you know, and not fight, you know, and maybe avoiding certain things in order just to cope. But now it's like you're ready to get to the nitty gritty. You're ready, you know, maybe there was things 2 years ago that you wouldn't have even wanted to discuss because it would have brought up too much stuff. Now you want to sort of have the, you know, have the chat, get to the bottom of it, get the paperwork and sort it out. And I just feel this expansion this year, let go of your doubts though, because I feel that they will creep in during the month of February particularly. I don't know why I'm being given that, but I'm being given Aquarius, and I feel that then that would be sort of up to mid-February, or maybe, you know, mid-January, mid-February. It's like but it's like the doubts are, it's more about, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? It's like waking up from a dream, you know, that you've been on this treadmill for 2 or 3 years maybe, or maybe only 12 months, maybe it's been 6 months. It's different for everybody. And then you just wake up and go, what am I doing here? Who am I? What is this all about? You know, what have I been trying to achieve? And it's like suddenly the mask, the veil has gone off, or you suddenly realise you've walked outside without a coat and it's freezing cold. This is good because it is going, like I say, it's going to lead to expansion. So yes, you may doubt what you've done, you may doubt, why did I do that? But you're not doubting yourself now. So, you know, during this year, it's like I feel there's more motivation, more energy wise to sort of achieve and get the answers. You're going to have multiple choices put in front of you. I feel like someone's opening a fan of choices this year, and they're saying we could do that and that, and it's quite a colourful array. You know, you might find you're in a position this year where you're going, oh, but they're all good. And this is again to do with dissecting, getting to the bottom of it, getting to the nitty gritty, and saying, you know, no, actually I've had blue for a long time. Now I need to start going into green. You know, this is the reason that the blue hasn't been working, because it's been missing that colour. You know, it's like, imagine this like a colour chart. You know, you've been given all these colours, which would you choose? And it's about being specific and thinking, you know, what's long term? You know, what colour would you put on your wall that's you're gonna like for the next 10 years? Think of it like that. So there's lots of choices here. I do feel a lot of communication. Phone calls are going to be big. You know, phone calls, text messages, especially where new beginnings are concerned. Now, yeah, that could make, you know, that would make perfect sense in, you know, it's like, well, yeah, someone might call and offer me a job. Yes, it could be, but it could be that you hear news over the phone. I feel it's a lot of that sort of telecommunication going on. One will be a specifically new beginning, and I do feel this is going to be around August time, and it is going to almost like turn your boat around and take it backwards again, but then veer off a different route. So it's like you've got to go back 6 steps to take a right turn, okay? Because again, it's like that sense, I missed that turning on the map somehow, and you sense it, but you don't know where it was, so you have to sort of retrace things a little bit. Fate is going to be really, really powerful this year, and there's really this focus on loyalty, but it's again about loyalty to yourself. I feel sometimes that you will immerse yourself into something for, like, to other people, so you'll become part of their world in some ways for safety. But this is about, and this is not about them being loyal to you. Maybe you might find that someone hasn't been loyal to you, and you realise that, oh my God, you gave them all yourself, you gave them all the loyalty, but it wasn't returned. And I feel, you know, and that's not where you're trying to feel safe. That's just because you want nurturing, you want to be part of something, you want to feel complete. And then, you know, you suddenly realise that it's not, you know, and that's the about turn again. It's like, well, what was I missing? Where did that change? So you're going back, self-reflecting it and thinking, right, well, what changed there? You know, I feel this is a sense of loyalty to yourself. You know, this is more about the realization of actually what that means, of where you felt like, no, I do things for myself. You know, I am selfish sometimes. I do put myself first. I do. And maybe there are, but maybe it's not in the right way. You know, maybe there's other areas you could be even more loyal to yourself. You're going to really understand your powers of manifestation this year and realize your own skills. And I feel that's going to be put upon you in love and work. It's going to be a very strong link between the two. Now, pulling a card for you, excuse me, I'm getting the sign, a water sign, a sign of, I feel Scorpio, could be a Cancer, but I feel that this is an important link. It's not a female, it's a male. And this person is there's going to be a connection with this person. It could be a new person coming in or an old person, where you're going to see how much they've taught you, how much knowledge in a way they were in themselves. And I don't mean that they've sat there and they've gone, oh, and do this and do that. It's not that type of knowledge. It's I feel it's the experience you've had with this person, or who they've been in your life, who has given you what you've known. But this is a person that, and I do feel it's a water sign and it is a male, that you would maybe have overlooked, or you may be belittled, or maybe not belittled, but you never thought that they were less. They're important in your life, but you wouldn't want to give them that importance. But actually, it's not. It's the way you give the importance. You know, it's like, if that person hadn't come into my life, I wouldn't have learned this. You know, if that person hadn't come into my life, I wouldn't have, ended up here. But actually the experience wasn't that great doing it, but I actually got from A to B. You know, it's that sort of knowledge, and being grateful for it. And sometimes, you know, for some of you, you may have viewed this person as the person that's held you back, or the situation has held you back, and that's the thing that was missing. Or maybe, you know, maybe you've had love for them forever, and you've thought that if only that had worked, that would have changed everything. But then you're realizing that actually, no, it wasn't about it working, it was about it not working that will give you the knowledge. So this is a massively learning and opening year for you, if you want it to be. Remember, with all these things, it's up to you how you take it. You don't need to listen to any fateful things. You don't need to go for fulfillment. You don't need to go for expansions, but I know you're going to be feeling it. So you need to connect with that and let go of the fear around, you know, making those changes. Reconnect with yourself this year. It's so, so important. And remember, there's new beginnings coming, and you know, the more that you love yourself, and I mean, you know, it's not again about being selfish and saying, you know, in the way that, you know, I'm not doing that because it's all about me. It's not about that. It's about listening to your own needs and realizing that, you know, on a level that although you may want to be with someone, or you may want to be in a situation, is it really good for you? Okay, so that's the loyalty to yourself. It's not about just thinking, I want it now and I'm going to have it. Okay, so remember that. It's very, very important. So if you want some more insight on that, or, you know, your 12-month forecast, then do get in touch. All the information is below. Now, moving on to Taurus. Let's have a look at you, Taurus. Okay, so I feel money gain, abundance is going to be important this year. But you're going to be taught by going inward. I feel some of you have ignored that side of you, and that's going to be put upon you in quite a big way. It's about realizing where the emphasis of abundance is, and I feel that you will be shown it is within you, and that you have the key to making your life richer, and that once you get that you will find real new independence in your life. you'll find a better structure and you'll feel freer than you have for a long, long time. But you need to be prepared to go inwards. Now, there's one big timing with this, and I feel this is going to be around mid-February through to mid-March, maybe late March. Okay, for some of you, I'm getting sort of the 27th of March. This is going to be quite important. But there is a money issue or a situation where you're looking to gain more financially, or you'll want to open that flow a bit better, or it's just significant in some way to you that suddenly it's important. And, you know, the answer is to go within and to do some soul searching and look at your own skills and what you've got. And, you know, for some of you, you may be thinking, I'm ready to leave, you know, I need to, you know, my job's not giving me enough. And, you know, I've worked for this company for 20 years. Why aren't I getting a promotion? That sort of thing. And I deserve more. And there's that feeling. And, you know, the answer is to go in and say, you know, well, are you actually independent enough? Can you work for yourself? You know, there's questions around this. You know, what's the best thing for you? But and to actually recognize your skills, because I feel for some of you, you may have stayed in a structure which has felt safe for a long time and is giving you what you need. You know, it's put food on the table, it's done what it's got to do. But at the end of the day, it's not, you know, it's not actually, there seems to be like a sort of stalemate where money's concerned. It's not, the flow stopped. It's not as, you know, as good as it was. And in doing so, staying in the job, you haven't recognized how good you've been, because it's just the way it is. And it's like, you know, if you find something easy and you've done well and you're on the top and you're enjoying, you know, the perks and everything, you forget what you have. It always becomes about the job and not you. And you forget, you know, you could be around, you know, if you're high up, you know, you've got a board of directors, they're all saying, oh yes, you know, so-and-so will take that on, and, you know, and you're sort of like, again, going out on some big lunches. You know, I'm not saying this for everybody, but you're only focusing on the perks of the job. You forget why you went into it in the first place. And I think that's the reasoning here that you're being taught, is to say, look, you know, you've learned enough now, we need to move on. And so what we're going to do is put a little bit of brakes on where abundance is concerned. Maybe you find you don't, like I say, the promotion doesn't come through that was promised, or you know, I don't know, you don't, something's cut at work, you know, maybe they take the coffee machine away or something, and you think, oh, actually I'm doing a lot, or the hours just get longer. You know, it could be something that just wakes you up and thinks, do you know what, I'm doing a lot more than I should. And I feel this is, again, time for self-reflection. And it's going to, you know, you're going to be, again, focusing, you know, Spirit's going to get you, or the universe, to get you to focus on the manifestation and how you rework yourself. It's like some of the cogs have gone rusty for a while, and, you know, you maybe have played it safe because it, you know, that's the way it is. You know, it pays the mortgage, and, you know, you've got a 25-year mortgage. The last thing you're going to be doing is batting around changing jobs, you know, if it's part of that. But I feel that this is tight, the shift is coming, and there is a sort of calling here. And what you're being shown is that you can actually make more by reconnecting with your own skills, reigniting them, or reigniting new ones. There is a call coming which is going to really, really prove to you how much energy you need to put in. And I feel this is from a male, and they're going to be telling you about what they've done. And I've got something, you know, it's like they've traveled, they've done this, they've got this job with all these things going on, and they don't have to do much for it. And that is what's going to make you see, because you're going to realize all the hours that you put into your energy, you know, your work. This may not be, I don't know why I'm getting someone skiing, but it's almost like they're going from ski lodge to ski lodge. I mean, so this could be very, very relevant to someone. And I'm also getting the name of Mark here. So that is important. But for some of you, it could be that somebody just rings and says, oh God, I've just landed this really cool job, and all I have to do is just sit there and just paint my nails, you know, or I get these massive perks and I only work 3 hours a week, you know, and it's really highly paid, you know, and maybe they're on the same level as you, or they're doing the same thing, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, where's, you know, I've been in this company for 20 years and this hasn't happened to me, what's going on? So I feel this is a breakthrough in itself. I feel for some of you it could be a woman, a mother figure that could make the call, and she points it out to you. So she'll say, come on, you know, and it'll be to do with a celebration, like you can't make it because you've got to do overtime and you have to travel from one state to another, or you know, and it means you've got to, you know, book time ahead. But you know, every time you miss these important family dates because you're, you know, you're climbing the ladder of success, and you've put that on yourself to be responsible, and you're allowing them to put that responsibility onto you, but you feel you need to because something promised. And this phone call sort of highlights, you know, hang on a minute, you're missing so-and-so growing up, you've missed this, you missed that. And it's not someone having a go at you. I think they're just pointing things out that, you know, it's like a realization. So it's going to be important. I do feel you're going to get the balance, and this is about you getting that balance and getting things in order so that you can have a good abundant flow. And there's such a breakthrough here that is going to give you so much strength, and I feel something, you will be honored, you know, around October time. There's some real awards and rewards. So I'm saying awards because I feel someone out there is going to get a very, very honorary award. This, you know, something very high up. This is like an OBE, or, you know, or knight, you know, being knighted or something. It's the sense of that. It feels like, you know, I'm seeing also somebody in the armed forces being given some sort of big reward, who is a Taurus, or a medal for valor, or for some sort of courageous thing. And I'm getting the you know, places like Israel, Iraq, you know, around there, somebody that's been, or you know, someone is out in those armed forces, and they're fighting for some sort of justice, or that they overcame something. I feel this is going to happen during the summer. I think it's going to be big in the media. And this person is going to be, you know, really, really had to show their courage and endurance, and that they come back. And I feel that they're going to save somebody, or they're going to put their life on the line for somebody else, and it is going to be shown. I'm also getting flights, pilots, that sort of thing around this. So I may be picking up lots of energies around this, but I do feel that that there's going to be a point where you realize your skills. Okay, so this is all relevant, Taurians, that you realize what you're worth, and how much you put out there, but the rewards will come when you put yourself on the line. And I don't mean like put yourself in harm's way, please don't take that, but it's like, I'm going to put myself and my values to the top. I'm going to really believe in my skills, I'm going to believe in what I do, and I'm going to go and fight for what I need. So maybe this fighting thing that I'm seeing, on this battle or war zone, is you fighting your own battles in itself. But I do feel there is somebody that is relevant here as well, that is going to come forwards in the press. It's going to be some big story around the summertime from July onwards, and it's going to continue, and then, you know, it will be you know, a story that people will remember for a long time. And I sense it's going to be, you know, quite unexpected in a way as well. So if you want some more information, more in-depth analysis into your future this year as well, and some guidance around how to, you know, move forwards with more progress and more success, then do get in touch with me on my website. All the information is below, or, you know, book a small reading or even some life coaching. So let's move on now to Gemini. Hi Gemini. Right, I feel that this year for you is about patterns. It's about realizing the pattern that you follow. There's one that you follow continually, and it's one that is so obvious to other people but not to yourself, and it's quite a big one, but it seems to be invisible. But I think you're going to see it this year, and this is to do with about yourself. I mean, everyone, you know, is being tested with value, but I feel this is more about stepping out alone. But it's about listening to both sides of yourself, okay, because your Geminis is your twins, and understanding that you can be independent, that these twin souls or twin selves can be independent of each other, that you can do both. They don't have to fight. All right. And I feel that this is what happens, is you always have these conversations with yourself, and you go from one thing to another. You know, you change your mind, you follow one route, and then you change your mind because that sounds better. Okay, so it's like the yin and the yang going on all the time. And, you know, possibly you put you're, you know, you come away from your focus as well because of other influences. So this is why I say there's two sides, because it's like the devil and the angel on your shoulders. You know, you start going, you think, this is great, and then suddenly this little voice comes in and goes, like that. And it's because really you don't need to listen to the angel or the devil, because you don't need the advice, okay? So it's like almost you can become influenced by situations, by other people, by just events that go on. You get almost like it overwhelms you, and then you get taken down that path, and then, you know, you miss the point, okay? Now, please don't take this as a negative way. It's just, it's about, you know, I'm referring, everyone has their own pattern, right, that they follow. And I feel that this is about almost breaking this pattern and this habit in your life, disintegrating it and creating one path, not several, and keeping it fixed and sticking to that plan. I feel that once you discover that, that you will, this new sense of independence in yourself, you're going to really, really take flight this year. I feel that you sometimes don't believe in yourself enough, or you don't set your sights higher enough, okay? And I feel this is about promotion this year. This is about the best, and you need to focus on getting the best. Now, I've got calls for you. It seems to be everyone's having a phone call this year. But one of yours, one important communication is revelation. Something will be revealed which will put your mind at rest. I feel some news is coming this year that is going to set something straight, or it's going to give you information that you've been waiting for. And it's like the answer, you know, it could be that you're waiting for a miracle cure. Maybe you're waiting for some money to come in. Maybe you're waiting to hear from someone who's disappeared. But it's like, whatever it is, it could just be something somebody says over the phone that suddenly allows you to just relax and not put the pressure on yourself. I think sometimes you know, there's too much stress in the achievement and to getting where you need to be without realizing what that is, or thinking, I've got to have the thing. Okay, and everything's focused on the thing, and everything's focused on, this is what I've got to do, but never really understanding what it is that you want. Okay, it's like you're missing the point somehow. And I feel this year is about finding that point and eliminating the stress in your life and making your life the best it can be. Okay, so you're going to be focusing on the best. It's like, I want the biggest chair in the office. I want my life to be progressive. I want it to be easy, and I want to eliminate the stress because I feel that things are going to be highlighted that are stressful to you to help you understand that. Okay, so be aware of that. You know, be aware that you are, you know, that anything that comes up in your life that makes you feel a bit wound up or anything, it's a way forwards. Now, I do see the sign of Cancer here, but I feel it's timing. All right, I feel that you can turn something around in a big way around, let's say, mid-June to mid-July. There's some things opening up around that time that are going to be very creative. I feel your energy is going to be a lot higher. And if you prepare beforehand and you do the self-reflection and you look at what you want to do beforehand, by that time you'll be ready to launch. Okay, so give yourself time to launch situations. If this is to do with a relationship, I feel you know, don't just sort of run down the aisle, get married in the next week because it feels great, because I feel I've got a Pisces involved here, particularly around this, or somebody saying, come on, let's go to the registry office. I can see some of you going, oh my God, haven't even got my shoes on yet. You know, there's a real feel of sort of like rush, and they're saying is don't bide your time until that time, because that will be so much more productive and so much better. And if it means that you have to put something aside because your family or people can't make it, you know, or maybe you're, you know, if you find that you want to get going on something, okay, and you feel this urge to do it, but something's missing, then hold back. But I think that whatever you're planning, whatever comes up in the next, well, I would say sort of end of January, even it may not even happen till mid-February to mid-March, around that time, you know, you'll feel the need to get going, but I want you to plan. You need to get practical. You need to really slow down and not get overwhelmed with the excitement. And I think that's what draws you in. You know, it's like there's an offer and you go, whoosh, I've got it. I really want it. It feels really good. Oh my God, it's everything I need. And it's like, hang on a minute. What happened before? What worked, what didn't? Are you just in a zone? What frame of mind are you in? Sit back. Have you got everything you need? You know, like I said, it's not about the thing necessarily, or finding or thinking, I've got to find the thing. I've got to find the thing. You know, it's where you're focusing. It's about being happy. It's about long-term happiness and making things better. It's about building now this year, okay? It's not about flitting back and forth and just having a little bit of this and having a bit of that. What you'll find is if you do that, people will eat more of your meal than you've offered, okay? You'll find that you'll make a pie and someone will take a bigger slice than they should, and they'll keep doing it. So make sure that, you know, when you make the pie, you know, if you make a new recipe, for instance, that you do tasters of it first. You do market research before you put it on the shelves. You know, you play around with logos. You really think about what it is that you need. Yes, talk to other people, get some information, but don't allow their influence just because something worked for them, or, you know, or something happened in the past, or it didn't work, you know, to hold you back. I feel that you do put other people's needs first, or you create a restriction where there isn't one, and you talk yourself into things. And this is, again, your little angel and your devil on your shoulder. You know, you have the conversations with yourself, you talk yourself into it, you talk yourself out of it. You know, something can happen, you go whoosh, and it's these absolutely fast reactions that can cause you to go down the wrong road. And I feel you've just got to sort of really start thinking about what is long term, what's really going to help, you know, rather than sort of like suddenly, oh, I'm just going to go and buy a load of stock and I'm going to start this because I feel like it today. Okay, remember how you felt 6 months ago and you felt like it today, and what happened then. Think about the practicalities, but also think about the long-term joy. And if there's a lot of things that you do and you need to mix them and blend them together, then take the whole of that, you know, and just do the things you enjoy for a while. Be creative, just play around with it. Use that next 6 months to do that. Now, I do see an upping of status by the end of the year. I see more money. I see a very, very big celebration, and I do see events that require posh dress and this sense of, you know, going up in the world, of feeling like you've been invited in, you know, by the, you know, the up and the, you know, or, you know, the Joneses, that sort of thing, and feeling like, you know, finally you've made it. So this is really important. And so I think that if you do that careful planning, you'll get there. So stop rushing, because you'll waste your time and then it will take longer. So if you want a little bit more information on that, Geminis, then do get in touch with me on my website. All the information is below, and also you can download the app Instant Go. I'm just going to pull a card for you. I don't know if I did it for Taurus, but anyway, that's okay. There was lots of information there. Yeah, it's saying you don't sit on the fence either. Don't overthink things to the point, again, having that conversation with yourself, because you almost like you either talk yourself out of things or you push yourself forwards too quickly, okay? I just feel like there's almost like too much communication here, and you're going to learn that this year. So be very aware of those patterns and overcome them. So let's move on to Cancer. So I see this year there's opportunities and doorways for you, and there is a chance of freedom. Okay, freedom from the past. This is a year of letting go of the old burdens. Okay, now last year was a lot about it, but I feel like you've got a chance to really release it. So if something's offered to you, you know, don't allow your, you know, your past planning to stop you from moving forwards. I feel that this is a really important time this year to sort of recognize the change and go for it, and realize, you know, using the past to enable you forwards rather than hold you back. I feel that you can really, you know, your wishes are being heard this year. I'm seeing moves of house or talks about moving house. I'm seeing people putting things on the market. I see big decisions being made And I'm seeing money changing hands. I'm seeing people just make some very, very big purchases as well, where Cancers is a concern. Moving, transition is going to be important this year. And again, finding that sense of freedom. But it's about, again, you know, once you focus on your well-being and once you realize what that means and actually what's good for you, you'll make the changes. It's like, again, you know, with everybody, we all put restrictions there and limitations because of safety and because we're afraid sometimes of the change. With you guys, you know, I feel that sometimes you don't know what is good for you, you know, or you're saying what's good for you, but you're not listening to your well-being enough, or because you're afraid of something that's happened before. Okay, so you hold back on that, although something's a good thing. I do see this question: if you're not listening to your dreams this year, if you're not going for it, you're going to feel quite down. So you'll get that sense of, you know, that's your sign. It's like, if you're not freeing yourself from your restrictions, if you're not freeing yourself from the past, you will get these senses of like, oh, you know, almost like, you know, I don't want to use the word depression because that sounds really heavy, but sometimes, you know, if you're a really upbeat person and you're really happy all the time, you know, you'll just feel, it's like a drag. It's like you're dragging your heels. It'll feel like someone's pulling you back, or you're just never getting there. So resist, you know, don't do that. Know that that's a chance to change. You know, if your well-being comes first, stand up for yourself. If you think something isn't really working for you, say, actually, I'm really not happy about this. It just doesn't feel good. I'm just not happy, you know, and it's okay to do that. You know, don't stay in something just because, you know, you should, or because past aspects are saying you've got to stay back. I feel there's a bit of game playing here, and there's outside influences that, you know, you may be around somebody who is knows exactly what buttons to press with you and knows exactly how to turn the, you know, to be the puppeteer. Okay, and I feel that you need to be aware of that person. They cause doubt in you. This person or these influences around you that you could come about this year are people that, again, may cause you to feel down because they're hindering you from progress. Okay, so that's another sign. You may walk away and think, oh, you know, or you just maybe just around people that are just negative, you know, or just you're feeling restricted by them, and you feel like you've got to do something, you've got to play the game a little bit. But I'm seeing really big expansion here, especially around the home. I'm seeing, again, better opportunities where house moves are concerned. You know, maybe you moved before and it wasn't good for you, and this is, you know, because you thought it was for your well-being, but actually you were doing it for someone else. Because again, I'm seeing this person, it's all about them, you know, it's about what they want, not what you want. You know, you need to find the balance here. So you may find that a lot of past situations come back up that you have to deal with. I don't think it's going to be like last year. I think this is more like, this is a pinpoint to really get you where you need. So it's a sign to get you moving. Okay, so you may find that, you know, maybe it's a financial situation comes up and you think, actually, you know, I can't do this anymore, I've got to change. So you'll be more realizing of it this year. It's not going to be like, I'm banging my head against a brick wall. It's actually going to be movable. But it is like, again, a highlighting of what do I want. Perspective is going to be important. You're going to be pushed into changing your perspective, looking at things from a new point of view. Again, finding new ways of doing it, finding new ways of expansion. But I feel like there's a lot of speed coming, you know, things are going to move a lot faster and opportunities will come in for you, so be aware of them. You know, you don't want to be like so lost in this sort of, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm so restricted, or you know, being dragged along by somebody else, or being manipulated at the hands of somebody else, or someone that's causing you to doubt and you miss something really, really good. You know, be honest with yourself. You know, if you're feeling uncomfortable, or you feel that, you know, your energies are down, you just feel a bit low, that's a sign that something isn't balanced, something isn't good for you. So I'm going to pick a card for you, and I just feel, again, this is, you know, I said this for Gemini, but you know, this is about not repeating a pattern. This is about overcoming sadness and seeing other ways, you know, seeing another approach to things, and stop, you know, facing that sadness. But I also see that letting go is important to you, that you need to let go of this fear. You need to just, you know, be aware of the resistance you put up, of, you know, maybe the justifications of not moving forwards. I feel this is a time for transition this year. You know, like I said, I've got house moves, I've got expansion, and I've got, this is good for you. Okay, it's good for you to make the move. All right, this is a good year to do it. I feel it seems to be quarterly that things are going to come up for you. But you need to clear away the old. You've got to be prepared to let go. You know, stop holding on to that safety net. I've got like a vision of somebody going, I am not going to fall in the sea. I'm going to hold on to the bitter end, you know, or hanging on to the edge of a cliff. And really, just below that cliff is a lovely, soft, big cushion, you know, but you're, you know, or as you let go, you'll grow wings, you know, but it's like, you know, but you're just so resistant to it. You'd rather hang on and go through, be outside in all weathers and, you know, deal with that than actually just see what this could bring. So I feel that this year you need to be more open to expansion, more spontaneous, and let go of these other influences that are holding you back. I think it's going to be very apparent who is doing it and what is going on. And, you know, you may feel very stifled by it. You know, again, when you're with these people, you feel really irritated, or again, you walk away feeling a bit down, or you sort of, you're going along with it, you'll get excited with them, but then you walk away and it doesn't feel right, that sort of thing. These are big signs for you this year, Cancer. But remember, there's lots and lots of opportunity, lots but you need to free yourself from the past. So again, if you want some more information on this, then do get in touch with me by email, or check out the website. If you want to let go of the past, you want some information on how to do that, then do contact me. You can do, you know, therapy sessions. There's lots and lots of things that can be done. And I'll speak to you very, very soon. Hi, Leo. So let's have a look at 2018 for you. Now, I see this is a much more structured year for you. I feel you're going to do a lot more thinking before you act. I think a lot of people are going to be doing this mainly because of the Capricorn elements, and it's sort of necessary really to get the best of what you're doing. You know, it's about really doing a job well, not in a rush. Now, there's going to be some new opportunities of promotion. I feel that for you, as some of the other signs, promotion is important, making things better. But what I feel is that during the year, you're going to have a rest break or some time off. Maybe you've got an operation scheduled. Maybe you've got a long holiday planned. Or you take some time off, you know, you need to take a break for some reason. I feel that this will actually give you the breakthrough you're looking for. Now, if you're looking to change your job and you decide that it's actually best to just go, or your contract comes to the end and you're thinking, oh no, I haven't got anything ready, there's nothing in the pipeline. I feel that, you know, the time there's a sort of break in between, which is actually where you'll get your biggest bits of information. It's like one thing has to be finished before another is started, and everything has to be in the right order this year for you. It needs to be, you know, I feel like there's tying up of loose ends of things, you know, if there was something that needed to be completed, particularly around relationships, that you needed to get some sort of resolve, or you need to this year. I feel you're going to find that. And I'm getting between July and August is important for some people to regain friendship after some struggles, or renewing a relationship after a long time apart. And I feel that for some of you, this has been a long time in coming, but it's like this year will be the first, you know, will be the time where everybody's on the same page and everyone's sort of looking to their own happiness, and the ego isn't getting involved as such. There'll be a sense that the anger or the stress connected with breakups or separations, you know, conflict, it needs to be, the anger's dispersed this year. I feel that it's time, you know, everybody wants a rest. Everyone just wants to meet halfway. And it's like all of a sudden people are looking inside themselves and realizing that, you know, the only way forward is to deal with this issue. You know, it's like you're seeing very clearly the challenges in front of you, and maybe that the approach you had wasn't necessarily the best approach, and actually you just want peace now, and you want to make things better. Now there's some big changes coming, particularly in May. I'm picking up one for you. It will require a bit of research though, so if you're offered a job or promotion, I feel that you need to look a bit further into it, mainly because I don't think you're given enough information to start with, and it's like the universe is holding back the information. So you might say, oh, would you like to come for an interview? It's in your field. We found you in a long, we're headhunting you or something, and you're thinking, well, can you tell me more? Oh, well, we will at the interview. It's like, but the interview isn't for sort of 2 weeks or something, and you're like, chewing your nails off thinking, well, what is this? Do I take it? Do I think about it? And so what I see you doing is doing research into the company. I'm particularly seeing blue, or a blue logo around this for some of you, or blue in the title. Also the word water. So I feel it could be to do with, it could be to do with water. It could be a place. There's a place called Blue Water. Maybe that's it. I've just said it, 2 words together. It could be a water company. It could be to do with an energy company in general. It could just have blue on the letterhead that you see, but it seems to be quite significant. And there's a lot to this place, but there's a lot of secrecy around it as well. Like I say, it's almost a little bit cloak and dagger. Yes, we'll tell you when we get there. Yes, you can meet the head honcho, but we're not going to tell you what his name is, sort of thing. But I do see a male who has created this company or some sort of project, and that some of for this is obviously not for every single person, but this is particularly one situation. You'll see a picture of him and it'll be in black and white, and I feel that there's a lot of history to this. It's maybe this guy is part of it's part of a family heritage. So if this is making sense to you, then it will do this year. But anyway, I feel that this is whatever changes that come, or if you experience a big change or a new direction, that it's like some of the information is held off and you're just being asked, they're saying Wikipedia, look on Wikipedia, you'll get so much information. And maybe this is because at certain times you've rushed into things, or that you need to be prepared for the interview, or it's getting you to look further beyond what you first read. There seems to be messages in all of this. Whatever this situation is, there's a reason for you, so that you learn more and you work in a new way. Now, promotion for the sake of promotion isn't great. So if you are in a situation where you're not that excited about what you're doing anymore, but and all you've been thinking about was promotion, and suddenly you wake up one morning in spring, I'm getting, and think, you know what, I need to do something different, then really do the research. Again, I'm getting that sense of research. I do think May is going to be a very important time for laying down strong foundations and looking to new beginnings. Now, there's going to be a speedier approach as well. I feel like once you know what you want and once you go and get it, I just feel it could just happen overnight. And for some of you, you're going to be amazed at how increased the speed is. But I think once you found out and you've decided what you want, you're going to really, really go for it as well. Be very aware of what you hear during the year, because I feel that there's going to be some real audio messages coming in. You may be somebody that is very visual. It doesn't, they don't listen much, or, you don't focus on that side of things. If you are a spiritual light worker or a psychic, I feel that you're going to open up to listening more. You're going to be put in situations where you need to listen, and sometimes I can see somebody in a situation where there's some sort of argument going on, or some debate, and you're sort of like having to really listen to every side, because you're being put into a position where you need to make a decision, or you're like the middle, you're the middle ground, the mediator, or you're the third party in a, the decider in a business or something, and it's up to you to make the call. So listening is going to be really imperative. I feel politics as well are going to come into things. The word politics, but it could be the politics within things you do, getting things right, or pushing, or standing up there. Anybody in politics who's a Leo, I feel, is going to want to really get their voice out there. I can see somebody standing there, like you'd see with the Prime Minister or the President, standing there and doing some sort of speech to the crowds. And being heard, you know. So again, this is about listening and doing what, you know, if you go with the lines, if you want something to succeed, Spirit is saying listen when you do your marketing and research, because this is a year for getting it right for everybody. But you need to sort of do the nitty gritty. You've got to do the groundwork, and you've got to do a good job and keep your head together, and, you know, take the steps to do it without sort of rushing in or, you know, overdoing it or doing something that isn't, you know, reality. You know, you've got to be practical as well. So watch out for some temptation coming in this year, unwanted temptation, that it does take you off that focus, because I feel with Leo is your number one. So you know, it's sort of up or down. There isn't sort of a sideways track, but if you get taken off that focus, it can be very like an imbalance for you. You need to be, you know, you really work well when you're, you know, in a place of power, and, you know, so you need to focus on that. And it's taking it, but not with that sort of sense of needing to be recognized because you feel better. This is about being recognized this year for something that you do well, but for who you are, for the real you, and to understanding what is false flattery and what isn't. So if you'd like any extra information on that for this year, then do get in touch with me. All the information is below the website, and you can click on certain links. There's a special offer there for a 12 months forecast, if that's something you're looking at, or just one-to-one. But all the, you know, once you get to the website, you can see all the links and everything, and you can just pay over the website. Be great to hear from you. Right, so let's moving on to Virgo, and I feel that there's a new course for you. There's more control this year. This is a feeling that you want to get in control, that you're fed up with other people controlling you. And when you're not in control, that's when you question yourself, you doubt your abilities, you doubt who you are. But it's because you've allowed control somewhere else, or maybe you've allowed yourself to just go along with things. You know, you're a grounded sign. Sometimes it's easier to just, you know, have your feet on the floor, not make decisions straight away, be nurturing. You know, you're going to look to, you know, you want to be, you know, you want to have a good feel about things. So sometimes it's best not to be confrontational. You know, I don't feel it's something in your sign to sort of be, you know, to go for the argument. You're more likely to sit back and think a little bit more before you do so. And I sense though that some of this hasn't always paid off, because sometimes you've given the control to somebody else, and then you felt out of control because they've sort of, you know, it becomes a pattern and a habit of things. So this year you're going to want to take that back, because like everybody, you're going to want to see growth. You're going to want to see changes. You want to see transformations. You don't want the last year or the last 2 years to continue the same. Now, if you've had a great couple of years and you're in a really good place, and I know a few Virgos that are in, you know, my mother of one, you know, she's at a certain age where I don't think she's really hugely concerned about certain things. A lot of things go over her head. And it's not just because, you know, she's older. I think that she just, it's just her personality, and obviously she's got certain aspects, different, you know, signs within her chart that obviously create that. So, you know, if I look at her and then I look at other people I know that are Virgos, it's a very different situation. But I think that sometimes we don't see what goes on behind closed doors, and I think that everybody feels the effects somewhere, and will be feeling a similar energy, you know, however extreme it is or not. I think it does depend on your lifestyle and your situation. You know, if you live on your own and you're happy to live on your own, you may not be dealing with lots of, you know, family around you and family feuds and things going off and, you know, that sort of thing. Whereas if you're in the middle of, you know, a lot of teenagers and people having anxieties and very highly, you know, intensive signs, you know, highly strung people, then, you know, your situation could be a lot worse. And I just, or more intense, should I say, extreme. And I feel that for those situations, that this is the time, you know, you may have been watching people sort of bang their heads together and going round and round in circles, and you've been watching it, and now it's time to step in, and it's time to say, no, we're not doing that anymore, because now I've got the remote control. I've given you the remote control. First of all, I did it because I was afraid. Then I did it because actually I was being clever, and it was actually funny to watch the reaction. Actually, it was nice to see that you had to learn that actually, excuse me, that if you sat back, you know, somehow they may sort of end up fighting each other rather than you. But all of that, whatever you did, yeah, it had some success. It had some effect on a positive way, but it didn't necessarily solve the problem, because what was solving the problem was you resisting because of some sort of fear in yourself or doubt in yourself that you have the control. And when I say you've got the control, everyone has the control of their own choices, which you do. We all do. But when we're put into a situation where we're being bullied or we're being victimized, or we allow ourselves to fall into that sort of pattern, maybe you're in a situation where you have been the victim most of your life, and then so it's just easier, again, everybody's got a different situation, then it's not as easy to sort of, you start questioning your own self-control. You question yourself, but you don't believe you have the strength that other people see you have. And this year is about seeing that. And I feel that you're going to realize that actually you'll look back at the patterns and you'll think, well, actually, when I did this, that worked. And when I stood back, or when I said this, actually, I got a better response. Now, this is interesting because you're learning exactly the same way as everybody else around you is learning. So everyone's been going through this weird sort of crazy pattern thing over the last couple of years, I would say, maybe 3 years for some of you. And it's just now, it's like the roles are reversing, because and it's having a knock-on effect. So as you're learning to trust yourself and love yourself and take back control and realize actually you can make a lot of changes like that, really quickly, they sort of learn and they fall into pattern as well. I think this is about more realizing your own strength and realizing actually how important you are to a process of things, and that actually you aren't the victim. The reason you're being victimized in some aspects is because somebody wants to take the power from you, is because if you're down, then they have the control, and it's like it's a superiority complex from some people. Maybe it's a case of narcissism. This may reflect, some of you may not, but this is what I'm picking up, this change of energy where you're understanding your true self and your true strength. Okay, so like I said, it may not be that extreme, but you may suddenly realize that you have a voice, and although you've been going along with things, everything's been great, suddenly it's like, oh, actually, I don't want to do what that person says. I've been going along about it forever, and I just can't be bothered because I don't want the argument, but actually it's really annoying you, and you may find that you suddenly just say, actually, enough is enough. So it could be a very minor thing that has been just nagging at you for ages, and you've just put aside because it's not a big deal, but actually it becomes a big deal. I feel there's guidance to do this as well, so you're going to be pushed to do it. There's abundance around you. There's definitely an increase in income this year if you want it, but I feel that you need to sort of flow with things as well. Allow yourself to heal in some cases, allow yourself to purge a few extra things, because this is a new year of learning. Like I said, this is you realizing the control you have of your own life and the power. And when you sort of go through that, you'll sort of go up and down, becoming waves. One minute you'll be feeling like on top of the world and really powerful. The next minute you go, oh my God, that was like really freaky. It was so different, so go with it. Money comes and goes as well. So don't allow, just allow it to, because I feel like whatever you spend will come back this year. And I don't expect you to go out now and go and buy a great big purchase. Please don't take this as just throw and fritter money away. But I feel that if something comes about that is really necessary for work and to create a better quality situation, then, if it's money well spent, then it will come back. Okay. And if it, just so look at all the pros and cons of this. Take more risks. There is this grounded energy around, but I feel for you, this is about trusting your own power, your own power of manifestation. And again, with risks, I don't mean go and gamble all your money away or your inheritance. This is about a risk on yourself. This is about investing in yourself and trusting that you have the power to do whatever you need. So, Virgo, if you want a bit more information on that, a bit more detail, or you'd like me to look into your own personal life, then do get in touch via the website and book a reading. Feel free to do so, or you can always comment below, and I will do what I can. So let's go on to Libra. Again, I'm seeing financial increase here for you, and much more progress financially, where you may felt like it hasn't been happening so much, or it's been a bit stop-start. You haven't had Saturn in your money sign, as we Scorpios have, but I do feel that there's better progress. So, you know, you may not have been stopped either way. I think everybody's had shifts, whether it be financial or transition anyway for the last year, because of the Sagittarian influence. But this is, you know, definitely bright ideas, inspiration and money coming in to serve those ideas and to progress further. I feel that any ideas you get this year are going to be so inspirational. Some are going to be fabulous, and you're just, you know, it's like, all of a sudden, this is the answer. This is how I can increase my income. This is how I can make things better and more positive. Definitely around writing. You know, anyone that writes blogs or books, or, you know, you suddenly have this great idea for something, you know, write it down. You know, if anything, write it down. Make it known if necessary, or start writing notes. You know, maybe it's time to plan that book. You don't have to finish the book tomorrow. The best things take a little bit more progress. So take your time, keep writing down notes, and allow something to build naturally. It's a much better way. But ideas, epiphanies, you know, inspirations are going to be this whole year for you. And I feel like you're going to make some really, really positive choices, really big decisions and big commitments, which are going to change the course of your life forever. So this is a really important year. I feel this is a whole change of pace for you, Libra, and it's so healing as well. So again, going back to that writing element, I feel if you write a diary, it's going to be really useful for you. If you can write down your feelings in some way, again, if you're blogging, you don't have to share it, but I feel that it could end up opening up more inspiration for you and helping you in the long term. I also see that things that you overhear, people, you know, I've got groups of women talking, I've got, you know, groups of just social gatherings where people are chatting, particularly females I'm picking up on, but maybe that's because they're just gossipy, but there are a few males involved, that could actually give you some really bright ideas as well. Maybe you will join a new group. I'm seeing things to do with books and writing as well, so maybe there's a book club or something you'd like to join. I see I'm actually being shown a hardback book with black and white and red on the cover, and the letter C, Clive something written by Clive. I've got USSEN, I don't know, but I can see a man holding that book and talking about it. Maybe this is somebody, you know, discussing something they've written or published, or, you know, it's a, you know, often, you know, it's book signing or something as well. I feel that, you know, you could get ideas sparked. So the ideas, you know, first of all, the ideas were from the groups, but also I saw that sort of book signing thing as well for that. So that is for somebody out there. But, you know, somebody could say something and you just think, oh, actually, that would really work. Or the way that they're talking and you think, oh, you know, that would be a really good subject to focus on. People need to know more information about that sort of thing. So, you know, keep your ears open. But I feel that you don't really, you know, it'll just be within situations that you're in, you know, maybe, you know, you're going out for dinner or something and you catch things. This isn't, I feel that you shouldn't have to force this. This isn't about looking for it either. So don't start, you know, meeting all these groups and doing things and, you know, just so you can get some information. I feel it will just come upon you. I can see you getting invites, or, you know, you just randomly meeting someone in a store. Again, I'm getting bookstores here. It seems to be that writing books, information, are going to really, really be a link throughout the year. And I'm also getting animals related to writing books, but I'm also being shown the anatomy of animals, and maybe there's some energy healing going on there, or somebody is going to write something about the structure. I feel there's something to do with the skeleton or the shape, which is connected to human beings, although yes, we already know that there's something important that's going to be discovered this year, and it will be a Libran that does so. I'm seeing a male, a professor, who's going to bring some very enlightened information and learning, and this is to do with the heart and something sensory or energy around the heart palpitations, which is connected to some form of thinking. I'm being shown whales with that, and also monkeys, but there's this sense of mammal, okay, with that. But you know, this could all be mixed up, but it's just being given to me, and it's going to be very important. If you are listening to this and it's something you've thought about, then do go and do the research. It could be what you're listening to this now that you suddenly get the great idea. You know, as simple as that. You just put this, you know, this vlog on and you're like, oh, that was the answer. There's a lot of, like I say, a lot of healing around this. So again, you know, I'm picking up healing self-help books, writing around that, research. I'm seeing people in libraries, again, looking through books. It seems to be hardbacks, a lot of it as well, or, you know, actual books, not just Kindle or online stuff, although we can download them on there. It's about getting it out there. And I just feel there's going to be this almost rebirth of books, you know, where people start enjoying that side of things again, or collecting. I'm seeing a very old book for somebody and discovering some information in there, and I'm being shown an old book with sort of, you know, these sort of yellowing pages, and there's a number in the right hand corner which is a clue. So if any of you get given a really old, it's a deep red color with a bit of golds on the spine, or gold spine writing, and somebody's written some notes in one of the corners. But I'm also seeing some sort of I don't know, trigonometry or something in there, or, you know, someone's written notes. So if you're studying, you know, somebody, you know, could be looking for the answer. You can find something amazing in an old library or old book and think, oh my God, you know, somebody's actually written notes, and these, like, no one's done anything with this, and it actually makes a lot of sense now. You know, this is a year for you of new discoveries, like I say, new inspirations, launching some new products as well. I can see Librans doing something, you know, it's a little bit like the Lion's Den, or, you know, maybe not the Lion's Den, but this sort of sense of launch, you know, going into these big companies and actually being accepted. I'm seeing something in like a plastic, some sort of product, you know, plastic cup, or some sort of, how do you say, you know, I don't know, it seems like a simple product, which is a plastic type of thing which you can use for something, so it's going to be useful. I'm not being given an awful lot, except there's some sort of green and blue colors there, but I can see, you know, the courage to sort of go out there and put things out there, and I feel that it will be met with more excitement, and people are, because everybody wants things to work this year. So, you know, last year everyone was struggling, but I think everyone was struggling with themselves and each other, and that's why we had this sort of massive, you know, it wasn't happening. So this year, you know, I feel if you've got something you want to put out there, you know, go back to the drawing board in some cases. Again, write down the notes, write down what didn't work, have a really good look at it. You know, if it's on a computer, print it out, you know, get it on paper, get a hard copy. For some of you, keep notes on hard copy. I feel that, you know, this is going to be important, that you keep it for later, you know, store them in notebooks, don't throw everything away, you know, but take it off the hard drive. Okay, that was quite an important message. And just put them aside somewhere. You don't have to use them straight away, but just, you know, have something that you can log them in. So if you want some more information, Libra, this seems to be very, very exciting year. I was obviously picking up on a lot of people here. You know, if you want to know some more information, then do contact me via the website, or contact me, comment below, and I will send you details and fit you in for an appointment, or you can order a written reading or an audio. So looking on, let's look at my Scorpio friends. I myself am a Scorpio, so this relates to me too. I'm always interested in this one. I feel very, very strongly already that this is going to be a very powerful year for Scorpios. Jupiter is with us the whole year, well, up until October. And, you know, things have changed with the Saturn situation. And, you know, it's going to be a bit easier with money flow and abundance. Already, I'm recording this on the 8th of January. And already there's been so much more luck this year and so much more ease. And I just feel more productive and more, you know, more motivated to get things right. I think Scorpios have probably the most struggle in any of the signs for a long time now, and I do see elements of stress still in the year, but you need to watch that. That's the most important thing, is watch your stress levels. You know, you don't have to push yourself quite as hard as you do. Be practical in what you can achieve, you know. I've talked about this a lot in vlogs about bucket lists and things, and making sure that, you know, you write down things that you'd like to achieve in the day and things that you actually can achieve. You know, there's only a certain amount of hours in the day. And I do this a lot myself. I look at things and think, oh, right, I want to do that, I want to do that. You know, I went off to the gym earlier and I was thinking, I want to do that, I want to achieve that. And I thought, oh, for goodness sake, do you have to do that today? Why don't you just have that as your week? So add that to the list for the week, and then cut it down to what you really need to do for that week, and then push the other stuff onto the next week, because you still want to have free time, and you still, you know, free time is really, really important. Now, if you were obviously having a real heavy year, like most Scorpios did last year, and it was sort of like push, stop, start, you know, and banging your head against a brick wall as general, that, you know, you may be feeling you've got to push even harder. You know, there's so much intensity with Scorpios, but you don't have to beat yourself up now. You can relax a bit. Your intuition this year is going to be really, really high, and it's also going to tell you when to let go. And I just sense that most people will have already felt this sense of relief and release, you know, of, I just don't need to be concerned about that anymore. I don't need to worry about that. I think some of this is to do with Uranus being retrograde and this erratic feeling of, I've got to escape, I've got to get out, you know, and then Saturn in Sagittarius going, no, you're not going to expand, you know, and this feeling of like, you know, and now all of a sudden it's just a lot easier. It's more, yeah, maybe you need, you know, you're more ready to sort of just go in the present moment and just plod a little bit and do what you can and do it really well. Now, if you let go, the more open you'll become, the more intuitive you'll become as well. You know, you need to relax a little bit, you know, just allow things to come in. The moment you put that force there, you create stress for yourself, because often you do, you'll block that energy, okay? Immediately the restrictions come back, okay? So learn by that. If any of you experienced illness or felt like everything was stopping and shutting down around you, then that is your sign. You know, if you already did that last year and you were like, oh my God, I'm really worried about money and I don't know how I'm going to do this and I can't get all this, you know, because you're beating yourself up about it, really, it was only your agenda that you're listening to, no one else. I mean, it didn't, you know, okay, some people might be a bit upset if, you know, you don't go along with this, but it's not going to be life-changing for them. You know, it's not going to be the end of the world if you take a day off. And this is a pattern. So you need to sort of expand, but in a balanced way this year. There's going to be lots of opportunity for expansion, and that's your Jupiter influence coming in. You may find you want to travel more, you want to get out there, you know, see more, learn more. But there's definitely, you know, I feel a second important opportunity to really make the best of your life. And I do see important contracts being made, and something that is grounded and is solid, and it's going to make, like, this is going to be the beginning of a brand new cycle for you, an important one where you know, everything really starts to take off. I mean, this is such a successful year for Scorpios, but you need to make it that way as well. So the first thing is don't cut corners, okay? The second thing is balance out your stress levels by pacing yourself, all right? And make sure you only have short lists to achieve that are doable, and then do those small things well, because you will get better reaction that way. If you're not getting something back, then be prepared to let it go. Go with the flow. Stop pushing. Realize when you're pushing hard, okay? Because you're going to want to. You're going to feel much more motivated this year. You've got to be aware of your burdens, that you're not carrying too much. I feel you're going to want to offload them anyway. And I think that where you've been dragged down by some influences, you're going to feel more communicative this year in order, you know, to be able to get a point across, and you'll be heard more where, you know, that you've got boundaries. The more you carry, the harder it will be, okay? So I would definitely this year clear out, spend some time, you know, having a lighter load, only focus on the things that work. If something's not exciting you anymore, then, you know, let it go. Be prepared to, because if it's going to come back, it will. It's like love, you know, if it's real and it's true and it's fact, then you'll get the information. If you don't have the information, stop worrying about it. You may feel you want to detach this year a little bit more, but I do see that sometimes that retreat brings more light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot of focus on change, transition and moving as well. Similar to Cancer in the way that, you know, things need to get moving, and you may make a big change in your life this year. I feel like get ready for the change. You know, you haven't had the biggest firework yet. You know, you haven't seen the biggest display. You may see, you know, from the beginning, and you see these exciting things come in. You feel more busy. You know, you're getting more contact, more communication, but the big one's yet to come. And I feel we're not going to be told exactly when that is, but watch that doubt and don't let things get too confused. Patience will give you the strength that you need to endure so much, and I just feel that all of this struggle has given you so much strength. So really trust in that side of yourself. Really let go of the things that are unimportant. Be aware of your thoughts and just take things one day at a time, and do what you love and do it well, and you really cannot go wrong. If you want some more information on your sign, you know, on Scorpio, then do get in touch with me on the website. I will be happy to do a reading for you, and you know, have a little bit more a deeper detailed look at your own personal circumstances. So Sagittarius, now this year is going to be a journey for you in itself, a new beginning of a journey. I feel you're going to extend your original plan and seek out pastures new. Some of you may make a very important trip this year, which really brings a new start for you, and it will surprise you. I'm seeing really long haul trips for some of you, especially if you're in the UK. I'm seeing places like Africa, Asia, you know, it depends where you're living. If you're in America, you may come to the UK. I feel that this is a fresh start. Some of you will be picking up all your belongings and moving. I'm getting somebody in particular doing a 4-month stint in Japan for research and work, and it's like an opportunity to learn. Okay, so this could be that you're learning more about your field. You know, it's a training situation, or you're being mentored, or maybe, you know, it is a educational situation, but it's definitely going to bring new starts. I feel there's new connections coming from it. Definitely language skills are coming into play, and learning how the other half live, as they're saying. I feel that some of these opportunities are going to come through with relationship, via a new relationship, but I see opportunities coming for people that are, you know, are in relationships. So I'm seeing opportunities in work where, you know, you may work together, where you move together to work in the, you know, you maybe you go and manage a pub or a B&B, or you start that sort of business. For some of you, I'm seeing you meet people at work, you know, doors start opening. It seems to be, though, it's more like the connections you have with people that create the opportunities. So I'm seeing sort of partnerships coming together, or people connecting and then coming up with an idea or creating a new direction. And it's exciting because it's like two heads are better than one in certain cases. And although you're going to feel, you know, independent in yourself, and I don't feel like you need the partnership, there's this sense that actually, if I work with this person, if I connect these two things together, you know, you do that, I do this, we can actually create this, you know, and it's very expansive in that way. So it may not all just involve travel. It may just be that you're going to expand into a new horizon. But I do feel relationships are very much connected to this link, and also love. So you may go somewhere and you discover the love of your life. So this is a really a time for you. You know, Sagittarius is so expansive, and it you know, if you know, Saturn being in Sagittarius last year was sort of decreasing that feeling of fun and frivolity and wanting to let go and have fun, you know, and see new things and be inspired. And this is allowing you to do it this year, which is great. I just feel like you've been let off the leash, and suddenly you know, you've got more confidence, you've got more bravado, and you want to get out there. Some of you are just going to plan. I mean, I can see someone planning almost like a round the world trip and just sort of packing their bags and saying, I'm off for a year. You know, I'm going to give this up now. I need to do something really exciting and new. Now, do be aware of minor illnesses this year, though, because I feel that some of you may, you know, I'm getting things like influenza, but I'm also getting stuff to do with pollen, you know, bees, summer flu, summer allergies, that sort of thing. Be aware. If you're going anywhere too far, make sure that you do have the right medication with you, you know, anything for bee stings. I don't know why I'm getting bee, but it could be that actually it's the pollen grains or the honey that is going to be quite nurturing for you as well. So I could be seeing the bee for various reasons. But to me, that's like flowers, pollen, hay fever, that sort of thing. But again, you know, summertime, the sleeping bees as well, the end of the summer when they go to sleep, you know, be careful. Just be aware of those things, and make sure that you have something, an antidote on you if you go traveling anywhere for, you know, if you do get a sting. But also, again, that you've, I'm getting the letter T, something, you know, some sort of, you know, it's a, I've been getting typhoid or something in my head, but you know, there's certain areas that you could go where there are some diseases that you could catch, you know, it could be an epidemic, and if you haven't had your inoculations, so make sure they're all up to date. Okay, tetanus as well, that's another T. I'm not a doctor, but you know, I'm not here for you to just go to the drugstore tomorrow and make sure that, you know, you're constantly taking lots of drugs. Just go and see your doctor if you're unsure about anything. But I do feel this is about travel, and also, you know, you can take some natural remedies to prevent colds, and you know, if it's, you know, I'm not seeing necessarily stress here particularly that's causing this. I feel it's to do with seasonal stuff, and that you don't, or from traveling, and that you don't want to pick up something by mistake and then it become, you know, prevent you from going to work or prevent you from earning better or doing a quality job. Okay, so I feel this is being told to you for a reason, so that you are, you know, very, very well equipped, and you know what's going on. I think that this year, you know, there's some people that are going to go really into natural remedies. I'm seeing a lot of Sagittarians go vegan, or, you know, maybe start studying herbal health. And I'm seeing somebody in particular, you know, going around and really learning about, you know, the natural herbs and picking them, and the way, you know, they affect us seasonally as well. So I'm getting that again. It's like, you know, what grows where at what time. It's interesting, as I'm doing these readings, I'm getting a lot of information about, you know, new scientific approaches as well. And I think this could be, there seems to be a Sagittarian who will have some breakthrough where it comes to herbal remedies. I'm seeing a purple or bluey purple flower which is going to come into play with some sort of cream or liquid form. I feel it will be a liquid form, but you can have it as a cream. You know, it's a little bit like when we sort of went, oh yes, you know, well, not that aloe vera is an old thing, but you know, when it became a massive thing, suddenly it's all about that. And then it's this sort of, you know, got to have the goji berries, or we've got to have this, you know, this is the next best thing, oh, let's have the coconut oil. It's one of those things, but it's something like borage or something that is maybe not used so much, but suddenly it becomes a real phenomenon, and someone discovers that it's useful for another area rather than what it was first discovered for. And I'm seeing it around a very young child as well. So I think it could be very effective and a deterrence for things like allergies and stuff. So that's something that will come up. I'm getting a lot of mauve around this, and also the stone of amethyst, which could be very useful to you this year. But it is one of the Sagittarian stones, and amethyst is very healing. So if you have any headaches, I don't know why I'm going into all the health here with you, but I think it's because you need to be in a really good place if you're going to be traveling and you're going to be doing what you need to do, because you're going to want to do it. So you need to get that balance, and really again make sure that you take the rest. If you start feeling run down, do so. So if you want any more information on this reading, do get back to me. You know, if you want some more information on relationships or career, I'd be happy to help you. The website is in the description box below and at the end of this video. Now, Capricorn, hi, all my Capricorn friends. There is, you know, this is a great time for you this year as well. You know, Saturn's your ruling planet. You know, this is a good time for you to get into that good space, good grounded energy. And, you know, I think you are the guys to do it. You know, you're going to be really strong, really steadfast. You're going to stick to your guns, but you're going to be almost like the bull, you know, rather than the ram. Not the ram, the goat. Got that one wrong. You know, you'll take that slow, steady climb till you get to the top. But I'm also feeling that, you know, no one's going to budge you either. When you do stop, no one's going to be able to get past. It's like, I'm standing here on this train station. I'm not going to be giving in, because this is what I've decided. This is what I'm going to stick to. So I'm seeing you being really rigid about what you want. You know, it's like very balanced though. It's like no one's going to be able to sort of argue with you. It's very strong. It's very clear. It's very concise. For your communication is going to be really balanced, and you're going to be really good at educating this year, people. I feel that if you are a light worker, if you're a therapist or some sort of teacher or guide, you are going to really use your power of communication to educate others. And I feel that people will really listen. I'm seeing healing abilities coming from this, and I'm seeing some people that are in the medical field as well that will be very you know, if you're a lecturer or something and you're teaching students, I think you're going to do really well. I see that the exam results will be really high, because you'll find a new way of communicating where people can learn a lot easier. I'm seeing a lot of visual stuff, which is making things easier as well, coming into play. Some Capricorns coming up with some amazing ways of learning as well and communicating things, so they're simpler and they have, you know, they're listened to basically. So I'm getting medicines, doctors, nurses and that. I feel that there's going to be some breakthroughs there with Capricorns. And, you know, this is important. You know, this is important for transition and change. So if you are in that field, you know, you may have some amazing breakthroughs. And I think if you want something this year, Capricorns, I really feel you can achieve it. I think, you know, even if it takes the whole year to get there, you're going to do it, you know, and I don't think anyone's going to stop you. You're going to have your eye on the ball, and that's it. It's like, right, okay, I'm going to make this successful, and that's it. That's all I'm going to focus on. And I feel that you will be quite, you know, non-flexible in that, you know, because you'll be so sure. And it really is, if it's what you want, then go for it, you know, and you'll really take the time. There's a lot of study and research here, you know, a lot of groundwork to be done. And, you know, I seeing images of you literally building a house from scratch. It's like, okay, I want to live in a mansion in France, you know, a castle in France, and I'm going to build it. I'm not going to buy one. I'm going to actually go back, or I'm going to buy one and renovate it, and I'm going to take the whole year to do it. And you're just going to give yourself this time to do what you need to do to get to the end, you know, to achieve it, because you'll know at the end, you know, there's your goal, that once you've done that, it's going to be much more financially stable for you. You're going to be in a better place, you know, you'll be heard, you know, it's that sort of thing. You're doing it. So if you're studying this year, it's going to be great. I really feel that you're going to come out with top marks because you're going to be so focused on that. There's some important agreements going to be made as well. Some of you may decide to get a divorce. Some of you may decide to get married for business reasons rather than pleasure. But it seems to be, it's like, I want success, I want fulfillment, this is how I'm going to do it, but I need to do this to do it. You know, it's like, whatever I do, I've got to eliminate these issues. Children are going to be have a big play in this, in your life. But I feel this is to keep the lighter energy around you so that you're not too fixed, because I don't know, I'm getting this real bull energy, Taurian energy coming in, but it's that sense that, you know, you're so strong and so powerful, you know, and you'll just butt heads with anyone that's in your way. So the child element and the youthful side of it is that playful side which keeps you in balance. Okay, so that's really good, and that's like that, you know, inspirational dreams coming in. So you're not, you know, all walking around like, you know, digging your heels in and being really angry or, you know, and not listening to anyone. You are, because you are communicating better, but you're also finding new ways of doing things, and you're seeing things with new eyes. And I just feel there's a lot of growth here. Anyone that wants to start a family this year as a Capricorn, I feel there's going to be a lot of fertility around certain months. So do check your moon charts, I'm being told, if you want to do it in a holistic way. But again, you know, with this, if you make a decision, I don't feel that you don't want to be going at this great guns. Obviously, this is an area that you need to let flow. But I think if you make this a strong decision, yeah, we're going to have kids this year, and then just let it go, I think it would just happen. Or you start preparing a nursery, or you start, you know, you start, or well, maybe not preparing a nursery, because that can, you know, I don't always think that's the best thing. But maybe, you know, maybe it's living in that moment and trusting and believing it. I think whatever you decide, you'll believe it so much anyway that you will just manifest it. And, you know, it might be, no, we need a 3-bedroom house because this will be the time, you know, we need to get ready to have a family. So it might not be that you're going to do it this year, because I mean, obviously that is like something that happens, isn't it? It's a blessing. But there is this sense that you just know, you know, so that's where the strength comes in. And it's like, actually, and if somebody came and just looked at your face, and it's like they'll know how to react straight away, because again, the communication is coming from you. It's coming in such a way that you sometimes may not even have to use words. Like I said, it's visual, a lot of it. So go with the flow though as well. Allow things to be revealed. You know, although you're going to be very steadfast, very focused, there is, you know, like I say, keep the playfulness, keep, you know, be around younger people, enjoy your kids if you've got them, you know, learn from them as well, because if you've got Capricorn kids, they're going to be great. You know, they're going to really open your eyes up as well. And also remember that everything is about timing. But, you know, and I'm saying that, you know, you'll want to get to the end of a project by the end of the year, but be flexible. It might be another month or so onwards. Just have that as your goal. And then if it does, it does. If it's another half a year, that's okay as well. All right. So don't beat yourself up if you don't get to that point. So Capricorn, this is a very powerful year for you. If you'd like another reading with me or some more detail, then do get in touch with me on my website. All the details are below. So Aquarius, look at this. Okay, let go of your doubts. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to be really important to clear the fog this year. You need to make a decision you know, right now, to not doubt yourself, to say, right, all my doubts are gone. You're going to be really affected by the moon, I feel, this year, you know, particularly around full moon energy. But I feel also it's going to be a good time to make decisions. I don't know why, because actually often the moon can be very crazy, but it is a good time to release and to put out what you want, you know, to release it to the moon. And I feel that that's going to be the time. It's just, you'll probably notice it around that time, that suddenly things come up where you have to make decisions. You need to release yourself from restrictions. So again, that would bring the moon into play. And for some of you, if you're in a situation where you are the third party, or, you know, someone's poking their nose in or influencing things, I feel that this is going to change this year. So if you've been like in a 10-year situation where you've been waiting for someone to leave their other half, or they've not committing, doesn't have to be because they're married, you know, maybe they're just, you know, it's been going on, and now it's become restrictive because you've just been in the friend zone, or you've been saying, you know, oh no, let's just see, you know, let's just keep it light, you know, and then again 6 years on you're thinking, actually we're still keeping it light, what's the point? I feel that's the thing, it's going to change. I feel it's going to change in your favour as well. if you put your well-being first, if you put your needs first where love is concerned this year, it will pay off. You just need to be aware of the temptation, you know, of falling back into the restrictive side, because I feel, again, there's this sense of doubt. And again, you know, where I saw you making decisions at the full moon, I feel that's the time things are going to sort of come into play for some reason. So follow the full moons of the year, because I think it's going to be useful to you to follow that energy and work with that energy. Like I say, well-being is going to be important, and I think that health, wealth and opportunity are going to come into play. So it's like, if you'll be very aware if something is holding you back. You're going to be very aware if love is holding you back, particularly, and what people are holding you back. I feel relationships are going to be important. I do have the sign of Pisces here, which could be a timing thing where money and health come into play. It's like you're linking the two together. It's like, if I look after myself, then I get more abundance. And you know, I'm seeing people going to the gym, you know, suddenly deciding to go on a health regime, or suddenly, you know, putting themselves first, giving themselves a bit more time for well-being things. I'm also seeing people getting involved more in alternative therapy and having it themselves rather than giving it. You know, it's like, actually once a month I'm going to have a massage, or once a month I'm going to have some healing, that sort of thing. And you will, you know, I do see it paying off. And, you know, when you do that, it's like your income will increase as well. So this is a lot this year about valuing yourself and releasing yourself from anything that is holding you back on a personal level, that is holding back your progress. And again, I'm seeing you standing, you know, finding full moon really, really powerful at that time. And I really would, you know, start looking in your diary and do some research on it and the different energies, because I think it's going to really help you, Aquarians. And I think you're going to be very intuitive at this time as well. So the main thing is to watch out for any temptation here or falling back into old habits. You've got a chance to turn things around. You know, you have got the ability, and I feel for some of you, karma is going to really play a big part this year. If somebody has treated you badly, I feel, you know, say for instance, you've been waiting, you realise that your loved one has been playing away, and you know, both of you been played off each other or something. I feel that this person will get the comeuppance. It's going to be shown. Maybe it never, you know, it wasn't for a long time, and then suddenly this year you get that payback, which is good. But again, it's coming from looking after yourself. So you know, if in a question, do I leave the person? Do I wait? You know, never wait. You know, you should just put your needs first, put your happiness first, and everything will fall into place. And I just feel it will have that increase money-wise as well. I do see some of you getting some real luck around money, some of you being given some money. I'm seeing it in checks coming to you, and it's like a reward in a way. And it's like saying, okay, you're worthy. And each time you do something, it sort of gets bigger. So you might find you have a small lottery win, or you find money on the ground, or somebody pays you back after some time. But, you know, notice those signs and watch it. And you'll find it will be, you know, you'll notice the pattern, and then you'll get yourself into a better pattern of and the way things are going, and you'll progress a lot quicker. So if you want some more information on this, more detail, then do get in touch for a private reading. All the details are in the description box below and also at the end of this video. So let's moving on now, lastly, to Pisces. Hi. There's a real opportunity for victory this year, but you need to learn to let go and of certain things. I feel there's some old issues that have been playing around, old patterns that need to go. It's about looking on a positive perspective and sticking to it as well. There's a lot of celebration this year for you, and I feel, you know, if you get things into balance, if you maintain that balance and you start in a new structure of things, you are going to achieve some really great things. I also see moves of house, or needing to move house. I'm seeing moving furniture particularly. and I'm being shown one particular house which has got a lot of blue furniture in the kitchen, and it's very vintagey looking, and somebody moving that around, and I can hear the scrapes along the floor, and thinking, but you're moving it for an event. It seems like you're moving it around because you need to make room, okay, for somebody or something. So maybe that's a new little person coming into your life, because I'm getting that sense of nursery as well coming in, and this feeling of lovely family. So I'm going a little bit off pat here, but this is what's coming in, and it's important. So if there's somebody that has that sort of furniture in their house, in like a dining room area, I think it's a cornflower blue, something like that. But I do see positive energy around the home in general, and opportunities to have this. And I'm saying opportunities because it really is your choice. And I feel that, you know, if you don't choose to change, alter the way you look at certain things, or you're not prepared to let go of certain things, then, you know, these things will be longer coming. But if you listen to the guidance, you know, of what you're battling, because I feel like sometimes there's energies inside yourself, or there's other people that maybe you're constantly battling, you're trying to overcome a difficulty in a relationship or challenges around there. You know, it's like, listen to the guidance, because you have that spiritual intuition. You know, being a water sign, you can really connect with that. And I feel that once you link into that, the luck that you could achieve and the celebration that could come from this is amazing. I do see a lot around, you know, new houses, family, children, new beginnings, a way of looking things. You know, if you've got young children or you've got kids that you've had issues with, I'm seeing a new outlook on that. Some of you celebrating having children, or, you know, pregnancies, or luck coming after a lot of time, and this being a much more balanced time for that, you know, where you've been, you know, I'm seeing somebody so really surprised that they were even pregnant. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't see that coming, because they've given up on it. And this happens a lot, you know, so that isn't unusual. But I do see this person has a dog, and they got a dog because it was, you know, they thought this would never happen, and it just sort of transpires, and it's coming from a holiday connection, you know, from being on holiday. So, you know, I don't want you to start looking for it, so maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I just feel that once you list the person this involves will have actually, this would happen it would have happened once they hear it. And I think there will be a comment about this. I don't know why I'm just saying that, but yes, I do. So the important thing this year is to let go as much as you can of, again, the old stuff, old ways of doing stuff. Deal with anything, listen to the guidance that's around you to deal with any challenges that come along your way. Focus on, you know, keeping the home calm, making positive changes around the home. And I also feel where the kids, this, you know, this family thing is, I feel this is to do with your own inner child as well, and to starting to see, you know, victory. I think you've got the opportunity to have so much victory this year if you want it. So go for it. I feel like some of you want to learn something new, you know, change jobs, again, maybe move somewhere else, you know, completely up sticks and change your life. And that's great. You know, I feel that you're going to get so much from this year. So, you know, if you want to see this as a fresh start, do so, because I think, Pisces, you are going to be, you know, really get some great results if you want to. So, you know, there is a sense of working together. I feel that work is going to be important this year for you, and career, building a career and expanding your career. That's why I feel that you may be doing some study. You might start something new, or you may go to a new country and learn something, or start, you know, putting two aspects of your skills together to create something new. or bringing new people into your work and work as a group rather than just on your own. The important thing is to honor yourself and your needs, but do things ethically and by the book, because I feel if you don't, you could, you know what I mean, things could turn upside down. There will be releases throughout the year. I feel there's going to be healing releases that happen all of a sudden, realizations of understanding the stuff you haven't seen before in yourself. So this is going to be a big growth year in you, you know, and particularly if you want to, you know, you're looking at starting a family, or you're looking, you know, and there's healing that's needed, and this is the right time. I feel that Spirit is going to make that happen. It's going to sort of trigger events so that this happens for you. But definitely quality rather than quantity, and doing things, like I say, by the book. But you need to be prepared to go for it, you know, and really listen to yourself, and if necessary, go it alone, you know, and let go of those things. Like I say, let go of what you don't need, because if it hasn't been working for the last 3 or 4 years, then it really, I don't think it's going to, you know. Is it worth it? You know, are you always miserable? You know, and so just alter the perspective and think, without feeling like, oh no, well, I've put so much energy into it, I've invested so much time, think, well, actually I learned a lot from this, and now I know what I don't want. Okay, that's really important. And I think once you do that, you know, and you focus on peace and harmony, and you know, a place where you're just in a happy space, then, you know, if you're looking, you don't know what you want to do as career, or you're not sure what it is, when you're in a calm space, the things will come in naturally, and you'll you know, you'll start having new inspiration. You'll feel more victorious in yourself. So Pisces, if you'd like a private reading, you'd like to connect with me and get more detail or some help maybe in some life choices or guidance, do get in touch with me via the website. It's all below, and it's www.saraperrypsychic.co.uk, or do email me privately. I'd be happy to talk to you, and I'll speak to you soon.